Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
Have you ever asked someone to do just
one really small, simple
job, and they've still managed to get it wrong somehow? Like, you ask them to load the dishwasher, and they think this is what you meant. Or you could ask them to do the laundry, and find they've put an entire bag of pretzel sticks in with the rest of the load.
Oh my god.
Well, if you thought that was weird, it's only about to get weirder. From incredible idiocy to major misunderstandings, it's time to laugh at people who just had one job and still managed to screw it up.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, I want to introduce you all to someone. This is Antonio. Antonio just helped put down this road. It looks like a real solid, well-laid road.
Antonio fuck it
Good
up.
job, Antonio.
I think he did.
Only there's a gate over
Stupid
there
Antonio.
that needs closing.
You never trust the Antonios.
Looks like Antonio didn't account for the fact that adding a thick layer of asphalt to the ground might raise it to the point where the gate won't close over it. Man. I guess there's only one question left to ask.
What do you think, Antonio?
My God!
Did he just... Okay. That was either a very good chicken impression, or Antonio's just as confused as to how he missed this as the rest of us. When you refurbish
I
a
wonder
bathroom,
how he missed
plumber
the
will
obvious
usually
thing.
advise you on what materials to use and what size everything needs to be. When unqualified people who think they know better try their hand at this, though, they can end up with pretty obvious problems. Like this guy who installed a fancy new faucet, but didn't consider the angle of the new water flow. Ah well, who needs a sink when you have a perfectly good drain in the floor there? Now, I'm not a handyman by any stretch of the imagination. I have no idea how to fix a leaky faucet or put up a set of shelves. Now, that said,
well, me neither.
I think even I
Unless he
know
got
which
googly
way
eyes.
round a toilet seat goes, unlike whoever installed this one. Man, I hope they had the smarts to take it off and put it right way round, otherwise this person's in for the dreaded freezing cold porcelain poop. But at least they gave enough crap to try. Whereas the person responsible for this absolute travesty clearly only gave
Why are you dropping F's on my head? Fuck you too.
Let's try to apply some logic to this
I can't
situation.
let Twitch be a
Either
bitch
this
and tell me
bathroom
he's a
was
worker.
converted into two smaller
true.
rooms, and someone spent several hours painstakingly and perfectly erecting a well-fitted drywall around the toilet, which
Why did water
they
bottles
couldn't
get thrown
remove
at you?
for reasons.
They hit off the one
Or
for the
whoever's
exclamation
job it was
point.
to install this toilet took the term half bath way too literally. I mean, I guess it might be... No, I'm at a loss. What do you think?
I was
For
looking, I was
drywall
like,
disaster,
no,
hit
deep
that like
hydrate.
button. And for insane installation, hit that subscribe button. All done. Right. What other
toilet.
jobs have people managed to mess up in the weirdest ways possible?
Upside
You
down
know, take half
stairs.
a shit now.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if whoever installed that toilet seat also put the plastic clasp lid on this juice carton. Come on, the opening's
How
right
did you
there.
manage to do
The area is
that?
even blocked out in
Come
white,
on,
so you know
humanity.
exactly where it's meant to go. Now, to be fair, this was probably a factory machine error that flipped the carton the wrong way around during some part of the production line, but still, was the quality control manager at this factory blind?
Yes.
Or do they just not care about the freshness of a man's juice? Sometimes you can't trust an idiot to do one simple job. You have to do it yourself. Except you can turn out to be that idiot if you don't check what you're doing, as this next guy found out. He decided he was going to install a kiddie hole into one of the doors in his home. Only he didn't check which way round the door was before he cut the hole. So when he went to
no.
reattach it, this happened. Well, I think he's probably going to pay someone to come fix this mistake. Either that or this cat's going to have to learn how to jump 6 feet straight up.
I mean, it
If
could.
you've been abroad,
You'd be
you might
surprised.
have bought a t-shirt with a place you visited emblazoned on it as a
Cambodia,
souvenir.
Ireland, okay.
Nice way to remember your trip, right? Okay, so riddle me this. Where in the hell is this t-shirt meant to be from? For a start, That is an outline of Africa. Famously an entire continent, not a country.
And it says Asia.
And second, that says Asia, which is an entirely different continent. I have several questions. Who designed this? Who designed this? And finally,
Who designed this?
who designed this? No wonder this thing was found in the sale section. No matter how old you are or where you come from, we all know Pikachu.
Yes,
The iconic little yellow electric mouse Pokemon.
we do.
At least I assumed
Well,
we
you know
all
that
did,
trend,
because whoever put
IRL
together this
versus
Pikachu
VTuber?
amiibo figure has clearly never seen
Someone
a
called
Pikachu
Sino
before
Square
in
did
their
it,
life.
right?
Somehow they
did their
managed to
VTuber and
switch
their
the little
IRL
creature's
that he
tail
did,
and
I can't
ears
remember his
around,
name, is
leaving-
the Pichu's boyfriend as a joke.
Lovely.
And everyone's like, you have a girlfriend? I thought you were gay.
Wow.
it more like a rejected Teletubby design over a Pokemon. Suddenly, I don't want to catch them all. When people list products online, all they have to
I
do
didn't have one
is
of
show a
the
photo of
chair
what the
arms
product
up.
actually looks like
Oh.
and then send you that product. Doesn't sound too hard, but it's easier said than done, as Reddit user MattPond1 discovered. A fan of the stop-motion duo Wallace and Gromit, they ordered a cheap coffee mug online in the shape of Gromit's head.
Okay.
But what they actually got was, well, it was a picture of a Gromit-shaped mug
come
on
on.
a normal mug. I can't tell if this is a swindler trying to cash in on the weirdly specific Wallace and Gromit mug of fandom, or if someone genuinely thought people wanted a picture of a mug on a mug. Wait, I think I've seen this film before. Yeah. Mugception.
Mugception.
Road painters have pretty straightforward and weirdly satisfying jobs. Occasionally, the role involves laying down tape or a stencil and painting within the lines, or just pressing a button on a slow-moving line painting machine
Yeah.
to dispense a
Wouldn't be
perfectly
more difficult.
unbroken line of paint. Now,
How do you
I've
manage
never
to fuck
done
this
this
up?
job in my life, but it seems pretty intuitive to assume that if there's something in the way,
You
should
move it.
move it before laying down paint. Otherwise, you end up with scenes like
They
this.
paint over a car.
I
They
think the
painted over a
biggest
bike.
insult to this bike owner is that they changed the
Wow.
color of the paint while still spraying the tire. Would it really have been too much to just move the bike onto the sidewalk? Fairly certain it wasn't super glued to the rack. And speaking of things that could easily have been moved out of the way of a paint sprayer, really? Moving a few pieces of dog poop was too
Oh.
hard? At least, I'm assuming that's dog poop.
I don't know.
Repairing a hole in a brick wall can be a real
I don't even know.
pain.
Humanity has
The
failed
bricks
us yet
filling the
again.
hole need to be cut to size, and then everything has to be shoved
Why
into
are you
place like
talking
one
about
giant,
anyway?
heavy jigsaw puzzle. Clearly, the process was too much work for the person who was asked to fill this hole. It looks like they turned up, realized they
That's
couldn't
not how
fit
you
the
fill a
bricks in
hole.
lengthwise, and then played Tetris with them instead,
You would know.
shoving them in anywhere they'd fit in, calling it a job done. Man, I hope nobody actually paid for this. Maybe I've been being too skeptical. Maybe these jobs are too hard to get right. Or
I don't
maybe,
know.
just maybe, people are stupid.
People are
Because
stupid.
I don't know about you, but I've never forgotten
Right.
that the handle goes on the outside of the mug. I really don't want to put this down to some sort of machine error, but mass-made ceramic mugs like
The
this are
audacity of
mainly
this
produced
bitch.
by hand through a series of
can
molds
understand why.
and firing processes. This is because the materials and designs are too delicate and complex for machines to process alone. There's no button to push that
Unfortunately, it
inserts
says,
a handle
you know,
or
the cup
folds
that
the
had the handle
body of
on
a
the
cup the
inside.
wrong
Yep.
way round. That's
How
all down
did
to a
a
human.
boss go
So
over and look at
someone
a progress,
must have
look
put
at
that
it
handle
that did
inside
that,
that
and
cup
approve it?
deliberately.
I don't know.
And I hate it. Now, back in my youth, which was so long ago I swear I remember dinosaurs roaming the earth, I used to have a part-time job at McDonald's making burgers. It was pretty easy. Open a bun, squirt condiments, add relish, add a slice of cheese, add burger, close, bun. It's literally that simple. Though it looks like someone over at McDonald's was trying to reinvent this process when they added cheese to the outside of this Filet-O-Fish
Cheese don't go on the outside of the burger.
Was lifting up the top of the bun somehow too hard?
That's supposed to go on the
Well,
inside.
we shouldn't be that surprised. After all, someone else working at this famous fast food franchise had the simple job of flying the McDonald's flag. You know, the one with the big M on it that stands pretty unmistakably for McDonald's. It's not a W for McDonald's. Initially, I thought this might have been part of McDonald's Women's Day PR stunt, where they flipped flags and signs all over the US to show their support for women back in 2018. Yeah, it was a pretty lame gesture considering they'd just come under heavy fire that year for sweeping claims of female employee harassment under the rug.
Of course.
But this image was uploaded a good year before that marketing initiative took hold. Now that said, maybe this actually inspired the PR stunt. The cycle of stupidity continues. While putting the flag upside down is a simple mistake to make, forgetting an entire arch from the famous Golden Arches is another level of dumb. Or at least it would be if it weren't intentional. It turns out the famous Golden Arches logo originates from the 1950s McDonald's building designs, which had two illuminated arches on either side of the roof to make them stand out. The Golden Arches weren't incorporated into the logo until 1962.
I didn't know that.
Some 12 McDonald's locations, long-standing spots that have existed since the 50s, sport signs with just one original arch that used to make
Sounds
up
like a
the
useless
iconic
fact,
buildings. But even with all that said, seeing the single arch makes me want to call it Nick Donald's. There's something about a popsicle shaped like a cartoon character that just makes it taste superior. Sadly, you don't always get what's promised on the box, or at least the guy who bought this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ice cream didn't. And poor Raphael just doesn't know which way he's looking.
No, he
Did
doesn't.
the quality inspector responsible for this batch really give this cross-eyed crusader the green light? Well, at least it has the right number of gumball eyes, unlike SpongeBob over here. Jeez, what kind of ice cream is that, I wonder? Tastes like nightmares?
Nightmare.
The little yellow minions from the film franchise Despicable Me are so popular that their designs have found their way onto just about everything, from Crocs to pasta shapes. People have even baked their designs into cakes. Aww. Although this doesn't always go to plan. Oh gosh.
Jesus.
Why would you give it teeth like that?
It doesn't.
You
You
had
don't give
one
minions
job
teeth.
to make a cute birthday cake from one of many designs.
No.
Most of which don't have teeth and don't look like they crawled out of hell. Why make it look like it's half minion, half meat grinder? Well, at least an attempt was made here. Unlike what Reddit user Cats and Jeeps 2 experienced. They asked a local bakery to make them a cake in the shape of a Nintendo Switch console for their daughter's birthday.
Not too
However,
difficult.
the order was passed on to a different baker who for some reason wasn't given the instructions, and so what Cats and received was different. Okay, it might be a world apart from what they
picture of
asked
the
for,
Switch.
but there is an edible photo of the reference picture of the Switch console Katzen took on the cake, along with Katzen's knees, and the very boomer image of someone taking a picture of the Switch.
Yeah.
Just what every 8-year-old wants. Now, our society isn't built well to accommodate people with mobility issues.
When the twerking guys
With that
are in that
said,
one.
I don't think that flipping a set of
From
stairs
the
over like this is
Adventurous
the
Bunny.
solution. Those
Yeah.
ramps are so steep, any wheelchair user will need to be on X Games mode to use them. What seems to have happened here is that these stair sections came prefabricated and were wrapped up to protect them. Unable to see them, the installation crew had to guess which way up they went, and they guessed wrong. Well, it's either that or the stairs were designed by MC Escher. Now, even on a good day, elevators cause me some anxiety because I'm kind of claustrophobic. However, I think I'd feel at ease on this elevator because someone as equally as claustrophobic as me installed not one, not two, but 3 open door call buttons. Wait, hang on. What if these buttons don't actually mean that, though?
They probably don't.
Where's the button that keeps the door closed? And which one actually keeps it open? Oh no. This has turned into a game of Russian elevator roulette. I think I'll take the stairs.
My
We
choice.
could all do with getting a bit more exercise, but whoever fixed up this bike in an attempt to cycle their way to health won't be going anywhere in a hurry. You see why?
That frame is backwards, isn't it?
Yeah, those pedals are going to prove difficult to push. You need the leverage
You have
achieved
backwards
by
brain.
pushing down on one pedal to help bring the other pedal around, which is why pedals usually get set 180 degrees from one another. Anyone trying to ride this bike would soon see how difficult it is to gain momentum without that all-important leverage. Not impossible, but very slow and funny to watch. You know what my favorite thing about college football is? The cheerleaders. They're relentlessly happy, their routines are super peppy, and their timing is immaculate. Now, with that said, not every cheerleader gets it right, as the Notre Dame Fighting Irish know all
OG.
too well. Oh boy. To be fair, this cheerleader had probably been flipped around in the air so many times by this point in this match, she
But her
might
whole
not have
world is
known
upside
which
down.
way was up. Give me an O. Give me a G. What does that spell? No, seriously, what does that spell? I'm too dizzy to think that. Okay, pop quiz. What are the key components of a fork? A handle, a flat top section, and prongs, right? Now, someone please explain to me who forgot one of those key principles when they were packaging up the guy on
That's a
the right here.
spork.
Well, a lot of cheap cutlery production is fully automated these days, but the majority of cutlery manufacturers require a human assessment for assured quality control. So either the person in charge of quality control
They don't
was,
get paid enough for
I
it
don't know,
to care.
napping that day, or they purposefully were trying to make tiny shovels. Somehow it's the jobs that are done ever so slightly wrong that can be the most infuriating. Don't believe me? Take a look at this. In this sea
Oh,
of perfectly
come on.
aligned floor tiles, someone really couldn't be bothered to turn this 90 degrees to fit the pattern of the others. And now the rest of us are mildly frustrated, which is really frustrating, but not
Yes.
half as frustrating as the tactile paving on this train platform in the UK is. I want to scream. I double-checked if it might be an accessibility reason for this, but UK trains and their carriages are different lengths. So this is definitely not a designated gathering point for the visually impaired, which leaves me asking why, oh
cheap?
why this section could not have been rotated around to match the others.
Because people don't care
Okay, I
enough.
need your help with this next one because I can't figure out which job went
You
wrong.
think people care?
Did someone install this public restroom
Nah.
dryer here an inch away from the top of the
Okay,
cabinet
wrong
for,
area for
I
that.
guess, jokes? Or was the cabinet installed after the dryer, and while deeper than first expected, it was just put there anyway? No matter how I look at it, I just keep getting mad at it. Someone knew what they were doing and didn't think to put the dryer somewhere else or install the cabinet somewhere else so the dryer isn't useless. I guess the head of that dryer is designed to swivel,
That
but
is,
that's not the
how are you
point.
supposed to dry your hands?
Orange
You're
cones
not.
or
It's just
traffic
there for
cones are often
decoration.
used to cordon off areas
shove
that are
your hand
about to
under and get
undergo
lucky?
work.
Yeah.
And when that work commences, it takes just one person to remove them. All they have to do is move them out of the way. Such a simple, easy task. What could possibly go wrong? Well, let's be fair.
Sir, you
Two
left a
people
cone
failed at the job
in the
they had here.
ground.
Someone didn't pick up the cone, and the other person thought it was completely acceptable to lay concrete around it. Looks like this poor thing will be forever a cone. What does the word private mean to you? Maybe something protected or exclusive? In which case, I'm struggling to figure out how the fencing around
Oh, I know this one. The
supposedly
gate doesn't
private
close all the
pool is
way.
private at all, despite having
You can
a
just get
carefully
in even though there's
installed
a
gate,
door.
complete with a pin-coated entry
That's
pad.
stupid.
A knee-high wall is all that separates people from the other side of the gate, rendering it entirely useless. Surely the designer realized there'd be a whacking great hole next to the security provision they were putting in
They
place.
just did what the
Or maybe the
customer
contractor
wanted.
installing it would have told them. Whoever's fault it is, it's safe to say this is a public pool now.
Customer needs to redecide their life choices.
Does anyone watching
Yeah.
know more than one or two languages? Because I could use your help translating exactly what in God's name went wrong with this product.
Ooh,
In English, these are
God, crit damage for
glow-in-the-dark
coffee.
stars, a kind of decoration that contains phosphorus.
Nice.
which radiate light after they've gotten energy from a source of very bright light. They can make your ceilings look like the night sky when the lights are
I
turned
had
off,
those glow-in-the-dark
making them a
lights
pretty
before.
and undeniably
Same.
star-shaped
They're all over
decoration,
my
right?
ceiling.
Well, not according to whoever translated their name, they're not. The first translation is next to a German flag, but sous-marin is actually French for submarine. Likewise, the German translation is next to the flag of the Netherlands, but Takubut means submersible. Maybe we'll have luck with the third one, which shows either the Italian or Irish flag next to a Dutch word, and goes
Oh,
one step
come on.
further to mean diving submarine. But all submarines dive. Without the diving element, a submarine isn't. It's just a boat. Basically, none of these translations mean glow-in-the-dark stars. I think it might be time this company fired their translator.
Yeah.
Call me a purist, but I prefer a paperback book over an ebook. They might be more expensive, but you know where you stand with a real book. At least I always assumed you did, considering someone added in a passage on this page encouraging readers to click here for a free audiobook download. Sorry to disappoint whoever thought this was a smart idea, but you cannot click a book.
Okay,
In
download
all
the
seriousness,
audiobook
though,
version
just
of
Even
like
this
though
book
it's
for
a
free.
paper
that's
book.
been downloaded from an ebook file and
Just go with
printed
your finger.
illegally in the hopes of turning a quick
Nothing's
buck.
working.
Just
If
put a
only
link
these
in the
idiots
book.
had read a few more books themselves.
I know.
Now, you might
Or
be old
even a
enough to
QR
remember
code
a
to
time
scan.
before
Yeah.
wireless
There's a lot of blank
earbuds,
room on the
AirPods, and
thumb for a
Bluetooth
QR
headphones.
code.
These were the dark days of wired headphones, where if you put them in your pockets for even a second, they'd come out in a knot so tough it'd make a sailor cry.
True.
There was only one thing worse than the inevitable earphone knot, though, and that was buying earphones that had been assembled by someone who clearly hadn't been paying attention.
Wow, I've never seen
The
that
jack
before.
and earbud of these earphones have somehow
Oh.
been attached the wrong way round.
Oh.
And before any kids try to tell me these are VR
Yeah,
earbuds
that's
designed to plug in
unique.
and reach around the massive headpieces, these earphones came with a 2000s Sony Ericsson Walkman phone. You remember Walkman,
You'd
right?
actually have to be
The
an
thing we used
electrician
before
or
Spotify?
something
That's
to know
right.
about
There was a
wires
time
to know how to
before
fix it.
Spotify.
Yeah.
Shock. Horror. The saying goes, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. However, even if you study planning at Ball State University, Indiana, you might still fail. If the sign over the college architecture and planning's loading dock is anything to go by, at least,
Oh, come on.
it's just such a bad joke you'd think it was
That is
photoshopped.
so annoying.
But it was real.
What
Yep,
happened?
back in 1982, the
College of
building was
Agriculture
expanded,
couldn't
changing the
fit their
size of
sign.
one of the entryways to transform it into
That's-
a loading dock.
I wouldn't
Agri-
want
When
to
the
go to that.
contractors asked the dean if he
College
wanted to
for
have letters
architecture.
above the entrance
No.
respaced, he said, no,
If
it's
the,
just
if the
a
College
loading
of
dock.
Architecture
Stick
can't
any
even
extra
architect
letters
their
on the
building
wall,
right
it'll look
for their
funny.
college, I wouldn't want to go there.
Sadly, the sign was later removed following another refurbishment.
You got there first. How
Man,
dare
you
you?
gotta love college life. So there are a few key rules when installing electrics. Number 1, make sure there's no water around. You don't need to be good at math to know electricity plus water equals danger. Number 2, make sure everything's turned off at the mains before you start drilling through walls or changing cables. Your body plus
Yeah.
live wires equals danger. And number 3, don't be stupid, because stupidity plus electricity equals this. Someone
Oh,
genuinely installed a socket
come
panel
on.
across a door. Are they expecting people to
what
limbo
happened?
their way out of the room now?
Socket panel.
I'm no master
across the door.
electrician, so if anybody experienced out
Oh.
there has any idea why someone
Yeah, I
thought
see
this
that
was
now.
a completely normal
That's
thing to do,
an interesting choice.
please
They
leave
definitely
it
did that.
down
They
below.
probably got some from the architecture college to do that one.
Now, according to the history books, there was a man who always had
Even though
more than
architects
one
don't
job,
do that
and he
stuff,
still
do you,
managed to
I mean?
complete all his tasks perfectly. That man's name? Jesus. Okay, maybe not the history books, but definitely the Bible.
Probably right
And
now
when he
I'm
wasn't
roasting the
busy
architect.
feeding the 5,000
Well, I'm currently
with
trying to
fish
get
and bread,
artifacts
he was
for
turning
an
water into
architect.
wine. He's even
Yeah.
doing it to this day.
Maybe
Don't
that's why
believe
my
me?
artifacts are going
Then
so shit now.
explain this aisle in a British grocery store.
He's getting
That sign
insulted.
clearly
Oh,
says
that's
water,
normal. That's
but
normal
all
in
that
Britain.
stacked beneath it,
Someone call
we'll have
Denki
to
right
roll
now.
Wine. Consider
Wine is
proof
in the
that
water
Jesus
section.
shops at Tesco. Or
Oh,
more
yeah.
likely, someone reorganized the shelves and forgot to change over the signs. At least, I hope that's the case. Otherwise, I dread to think what the fish section and bakery aisles look like. Now, as a guy, I'd argue that peeing in a urinal isn't something you necessarily need a stall for. Sure, a little privacy is nice, but providing no one's rubbernecking over to get a good look, you can get your business done
seconds.
without feeling too exposed. Going for a number 2, though?
Yeah.
Oh, you need a stall. Imagine walking into the restrooms and locking eyes with someone with their pants around their ankles, grunting and straining their way through a brutal bowel movement. Nope. No, thank you. However, this clearly wasn't the logic behind being employed by whoever approved the installation of
The door's on the
this
wrong side.
stall. I want to say the contractor should have realized this was so very wrong. But it's more likely that the person in charge of verifying the plans and taking stall measurements was at fault here. Not realizing the urinal and toilet were the other way around. Well, this urinal certainly puts the pee in privacy. Which of these jobs do you think could have managed without screwing up? And do you have any stories of your own? Let me
None.
know down in the comments below.
None of them
Thanks for
could have.
watching.
They're all shit. I can't believe you messed up so badly. Just not possible. How do you manage to do that? That's part 1. We're gonna watch part 2 on Wednesday. I'd be amazed.